Hello everyone. Everywhere you always read about how frozen bloodworms are such a great food for your fish. One of the problems I have is that my fish aren't really big enough to eat the frozen bloodworms. I have so many fry that I'd like to get all that great protein to, and so many regular killifish and small lepistos that they just can't get a hold or swallow one of the big bloodworms. So here's what I do with them. I have to admit I buy them in like the 1 or 2 pound blocks, and I use a big mallet to bust them up into small pieces. Then I take one of these pieces, and you can put it on a cutting board or whatever you want to use for it, but I use plastic shoe boxes because they seem to be my catch-all for pretty much everything. And I just take a piece of the frozen bloodworm, little blob, and lay it in there, and I'm going to leave it there until it thaws out. It'll take probably about an hour till it's thawed enough that I can work with it. Then I'm going to cut it up with a razor blade into nice small pieces that all my fish can enjoy. So I'll be back as soon as this thaws out. Alright, now this is thawed out pretty well, and I'm now going to take a single-edged razor blade. You could use a knife, a real sharp paring knife or whatever. I buy a box of these at the box store, and they're cheap, and when they're nasty I can throw them away because I don't like dealing with frozen bloodworms that much. A lot of people are allergic to them, so I don't want it mixed in with the regular dishes. So now that it's thawed out, it's been about an hour, I'm going to take this razor blade and I'm going to chop them up. This is the same thing I do with live blackworms. Chop them up into pieces small enough to actually be usable for most of my fish. I can still hear some ice crunching in here. So that'll actually make them cut a little easier because they've still got some of that frozen firmness. But just chop them up good. Whatever you're using, butcher block, or if I was going to get an actual cutting board, I'd have a tendency to want to get one that I just use with the fish. That will keep your spouse or roommate from getting totally bent out of shape at the thought of what you've been doing with the kitchen utensils. So now that we got all this done, this ought to be pretty good. We're going to rinse it. So I've got some water here, and of course chopping it up like that's going to release the blood, which makes them called bloodworms. So I'm going to rinse that out. You can see, let it settle. We'll get rid of a lot of it. And now you can do this a bazillion times till you get all done with it, or you can, if I can find where I put it, oh, here underneath me, take a brine shrimp net and pour all this through the brine shrimp net. Dump it in there. Then you can rinse it real good so you got just the food and none of the nasty stuff. And then what I want to do, you want to carefully dispose of this water in case there's anybody in your house that has an allergy to that stuff. I'm going to take another container, fill it with water, about half, and then I can take all of these bloodworms, all nicely chopped up, and get them into the container. They're much smaller pieces now, and now I can just use my baby eyedropper to feed the fish. Thank you for watching.